Yo, what's going on, people? We on point with Unc and Neph. Like we always do every week, every Monday, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, depending on how we're rolling. But we're coming live to you from Uptown Comedy Corner. Tonight, I don't have my normal guests on. Y'all give a little bit of prayer out to Hollywood and Daryl Dam because they both under the weather. So right now we come with you and my and nephew just closed on a house. So blessings to him. He's not gonna be here tonight, and he's gonna finish. He's preparing for that for Thursday. So. And then Angelo, we're hoping, the owner and CEO of Uptown Comedy Corner, we're hoping he's going to be able to step in. But anyway, so let's start off real quick because I know everybody wants to watch the game. So do I. So, Pete, I want you to lead in, but something that we've been talking about. We're gonna try to do the local thing with the Atlanta sports real quick. So let's start off with Atlanta Hawks basketball. So not currently what's going on, but this is something that you and I talked about. That's what's going on with a previous actually retired now NBA player that used to play for the Hawks. So Pete, you know where I'm going with this. So go ahead and lead in, man.
So how we gonna start this off with? This is Pete Lenore. I didn't get an introduction, but I'm here every week. But tonight's topic we're gonna start off with is a hot topic, and it's been trending for the last couple of weeks. As Unc mentioned, it's about a former basketball player. He's not retired. He is from Atlanta.
He's not active now, is he?
He's not on the roster, but he still hasn't announced his
retirement. He hasn't officially retired yet. So go ahead and lead in with what you're talking about with him.
The topic is Atlanta's own Dwight Howard.
Right.
He's been facing these allegations of sexual assault, and it's not the sexual assault of a normal kind. It's sexual assault on a male. And according to court documents, Dwight gave his deposition, and he did not deny having a sexual relationship with this other young man who has brought a case against him. And so everybody wants to know why he's not on the roster. He still can play. Why he's not on the roster? This might be a reason why he is not in the league anymore.
Right. So what you coming out with him, there's strictly allegations. There's no merit to what you're saying, but I guess it is kind of a merit thing with Dwight Howard. They have actually found out, and Angelo has just joined us, so he can chime in on this if he knows anything about it. Are you aware of what the Dwight Howard story? And I know we got to be careful because if people be popping in your club. So, right. So if you choose to not talk about this topic, that's fine. I get it.
I mean, I know about the story. What's I don't. Well, I turn around just a little bit. I mean, I don't know what exact question you're asking me on. I mean, what about the story you asked me? I don't want to get into too much about
the allegations.
Dwight in general.
Right.
I mean, well, specifically, I can talk about the case in general. I don't talk about him specifically. Let me put it that way.
Right.
So in general, I think it's
Angelo.
Yeah, brother.
To bring you up to speed, I was just giving my statement about the deposition that Mr. Howard had given, and I guess it got leaked or somewhere to another media platform.
Right.
And the reporting is that he did not deny having a sexual relationship with another man.
Not only did he
You're
not,
on a different.
yeah. Not only did he not deny it, I mean, he said it was consensual.
Right.
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 Exactly.
That's bigger than a non-denial. He
So
said it
you
was
done pretty
consensual.
much admitted,
But,
your
but
involvement.
from a legal standpoint, he did that. He had to do that. Let me say that.
Right.
And I say he had to because
Stuff. Right.
you cover yourself. Because
Right.
now you'll be
Right.
facing both criminal and civil. You are facing civil. You know, that's criminal, man. You know, I mean,
Right.
based on what the accusations that guy is saying.
Right.
So him
he's
saying it's
trying-
consensual, he's saying, hey, so none of that happened against
Right.
his will. So
Right.
you don't have nothing civilly or criminally against me. And let's face fact, it's a money grab.
Right.
You know what I mean? He tried to, get money out of Dwight, and
Right.
Dwight, took a chance. You know what I mean? I'm saying I ain't gonna let you extort me. So
Right. So good points, Angelo. Pete, you want to go ahead and chime in so we can move on to the next segment?
Yeah, and this is not about guilt or innocence, but that was just to answer the question of a lot of basketball fans that might be wondering why Dwight Howard is not an NBA roster.
Yeah, because
Last
he still got
season
a
or
little
this
bit of
season.
talent. He could bring something.
But let me say this though. Y'all know they showed this video recently, but I remember when it happened. I mean he graded dude Johnson
Oh, we're getting ready.
on the sideline. Y'all
I
saw
saw
it?
that too.
Yeah, and that
I
happened
saw that
years. That happened years ago. But I remember
That
seeing
was
it
about
then.
6
I
years ago.
was like, hey man, that man
Right.
just grabbed this
Same
man
thing with
Johnson,
him.
sitting right beside him. I mean, that was,
Right.
So I think him not being in the league, I don't know if this is the reason why, but I think this is the reason that he'll never get back in the league.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think he'll get
Yeah, I
back in
think
it.
he's good. I think he's good.
As far as the NBA
You know,
goes,
his age is a factor, and now this. Ain't nobody want to put up.
I don't know. I mean, nobody wants to pull up with the stigma, but I believe that Dwight Howard could be a very helpful contributing factor to the Golden State Warriors and a few other teams out there that could use just a big man to play solid defense
I don't know.
and get rebounds.
Do you want that residual coming in,
No, you don't.
to bring into your organization?
No, you don't.
Do you even want that? I mean, he ain't got. So, do you want that residual that he's going to bring? both said he can go to San Francisco and
it
he'd
used
be
to be
good.
the case capital of the
He'll
country.
be
That's
good
now
to go.
ATL.
You know, Golden State playing San Francisco now.
Yeah, maybe he could go there.
Nah, I mean, could he be a contributor? Yeah, I do agree he could. You know what I mean? I think the Lakers could have used him tremendously last year.
Yeah, they could.
You know,
but he was under Frank Vogel's regime, and you see what Frank Vogel doing with the Phoenix Suns right now. They're not even 500, and it's early. But I was so glad the Lakers got rid of him because Ham just came in. I mean, he got them boys to the finals last year in the West Conference. So it obviously was a coaching difference because Vogel couldn't even. Did they even make the playoffs in the ball? Maybe first
after they
round.
won the championship. Man, they won the championship on
They
the
won the champ, but that was the COVID.
Championship is a championship. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
the
I
ring,
give
the ring on there, don't say COVID.
Right.
It don't say bubble championship. It's still gonna say world championship.
But I'm a Laker
But
fan.
they got rid of everyone. They got rid of everybody after they won the championship. They didn't bring the same
And
team
they
back.
had to retool.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking of NBA, and then we're gonna move on. Right now, I want to ask Angelo, and I'm gonna ask you this as well. Is Denver getting the respect that they should be getting? I don't think that they are. Personally, I mean they're 7-1. They're the defending champions, but everybody's still talking about Boston, who by the way is undefeated right now. And everybody's talking about Milwaukee. Everybody's talking about Phoenix. But nobody is talking about Denver. And they're 7-1. They're the defending champions. So I want to start out with you, Pete. Do you think that they are getting any kind of respect that they deserve?
I think we kind of hit on this before. When we talk about small market teams.
Right.
None of the small market teams get the notoriety or the fame that they think they deserve, whether they win a championship or not.
But I mean, hold on, though, Pete. I mean, they just won a chip. So it don't, to me, in my head, it doesn't matter whether they are a small market team or not. Kansas City, your Chiefs are a small market team, but they are, they're getting their notoriety. You know what I'm saying?
Don't go there.
So why isn't Denver getting the notoriety? And in particular, Joker. He's not getting the respect. He really could have won his third most valuable player last year. But they went on and gave it to him because they had dicked him before. But let me let you chime in on that, Angelo. What you think about the Denver Nuggets? Are they getting the proper respect?
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna answer this question. Answer this question by a question.
Okay.
When you think of the top 3 NBA teams of all time, what's the first 3 teams come to your head? Both of y'all. What's the first 3 teams come to your head?
Lakers.
Chicago, Boston, Lakers.
Chicago, Boston, Lakers.
Right.
I would
Now.
agree with you, Pete,
Now.
on that one.
Wait. And then I would say San Antonio.
But see,
But San Antonio's a small market.
There's my answer to the question. My answer to the question is, how many championships did the Spurs win during their run?
I got you.
But yet you don't ever think about
But you
them
don't
as one of the
think
top
about them.
dogs. And they won 5 championships.
Right.
But you don't even think about it first.
Tim Duncan
Was one of the greatest of all
Yeah, he's
time.
a top 10
But he's
player
not
all
giving
day.
that proper
But
respect
he's not giving that
because he's so fundamentally sound.
You're right.
And that's the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, you're
a
right.
fundamentally sound
Right.
team is not fun to watch.
They're not
It's
sexy.
not exciting. It's not sexy.
It's not sexy
And that's
to
why they're not getting proper respect.
That's a great point,
You know what I mean?
Angelo, you just brought up. Yeah. So you kind of just answered that question.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks, Angelo.
Pete, that was a point you was trying to come across with me, huh?
I was slow walking you there, but I was gonna get it. But he jumped right in and got there too.
I get it. So both of y'all brought up great points to me, so I can kind of put that one to rest. So because y'all both had excellent points. Angelo led me into this. And he just rolled off your coattails of what you was trying to say. So I get it. Denver will probably you could, just like Angelo just said, you can compare them to San Antonio. Same thing. Small market base. They got the great player on the team. He ain't getting the notoriety as he should because of their market.
And
Because of their market.
and he's not sexy. There's nothing.
And he's not sexy.
You know,
Right. He's plain.
horrible looking jump shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything he does, nothing looks good about it, but it's going in.
Right. And he could easily be the MVP, I think, every year. But he's gonna be like what you guys said, like Tim Duncan. But anyway, we're gonna move on from that topic. We're gonna stay on the NBA for a minute. Let's focus our attention since we are here. They are homeboys. Here at least with Angelo and I. Let's talk about the Hawks for a minute, just real briefly. They started out 0-2, and I know Angelo gonna tell me, man, it's too damn early to be talking about no damn NBA. But I will say this, my boy Will, who is my producer, last year him and I kind of, we had bought like a little package deal. And according to whatever games, he would allow me to go to. So we went to a lot of games last year. We've been to a lot of games in 2 years. So we started out the season with like, oh, hell no. They started out 0-2. They lost to Charlotte, I believe. as usual. And then who was the other? Who was the other loss? Well, it was two. It was two losses in a row. Angelo, you remember? Bo, you remember? Anyway, they started out on 2.
Right.
Now they 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 won 4 games in a row. So they are currently third in the NBA. And this is my view on this, and then we're gonna move on so we can get up out of here. We're gonna move on after I make this point. Um, Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder has got them, and what you think on that, Angelo? Because he's doing something that old boy couldn't do. That's why they got rid of him. But I said that I was impressed with that hire. He started out 0-2, and then at first I was like, here we go again. But they've reeled off four games in a row, and they've been impressive. I think they were behind in all of those games, maybe except for Milwaukee. And then they came in and blew out Milwaukee after that was their first win. After that 2-game skid, they came up with. Your thoughts on that, Angelo?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I think Quinn Snyder that was a great coaching decision.
Right.
As much as I love and support all black hires,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I really always want them to do really well. It was obvious that there was too much friction and that wasn't going to work.
Right.
And once a team stops believing in the coach, it's over.
Right.
And
Exactly.
then,
You lost in locker room.
yeah, you lost the locker room, and I think Quinn
Right.
Snyder was a great selection, and I think he's gonna do good things for him. I think
I think
they're
so
still
too.
they're still a
So
piece
me
of
and
slow
Will,
away, but
we gonna probably go look at the schedule now and maybe go in and check out. 'Cause I like to bring my grandson to his games or whatever. But Will didn't even commit to doing that package like he normally does. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna wait and see, what happens." So we still got an opportunity to go do a package deal, but we're gonna go over the schedule and hopefully maybe one game, we can all go and check them out. As a group.
yeah. Why not?
And the panel. Yeah, let's do that.
Why not?
Let's
That'd be
do
dope.
that. Let's do that.
I'm down for that.
As a panel.
I'm down for that.
Okay. I ain't
Road trip.
Road trip is just right around the corner, but it is a road trip. And that's only if I can catch Angelo in between his trips to L.A. Because he's a Hollywood guy. All right. Let's move on to, real quick, college football. Real quick. So today the standings came out. I was all prepared to saying, man, Georgia's being totally disrespectful because they had Ohio State ahead of them, but they went and beat a number 11 ranked Missouri team this weekend, and they beat them convincingly. So with that said, that was Kirby Smart's wheelhouse. He probably was hoping that was going to happen because he used that as a motivating tool. Look, guys, we're being disrespected. You know what I'm saying? You know how he uses that tool to motivate his players. So we got Georgia ranked first now, Ohio State, Michigan, and then Florida State coming in as 4. Now the committee's smart. They know what they're doing with the selection because they know that Ohio State and Michigan is going to wipe each other out.
Sure.
So they're not going to be in the top 4. I'll be so glad when next year comes to put more teams in there. But Angelo and Pete, let's start with you, Pete. How do you feel about the current rankings right now, or where they're at?
I'm cool with the rankings. Around this time of year, they're kind of always conference undefeated teams that's in the top 5. This year you have Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State.
Right.
And you have
Florida State
Washington.
is a newcomer to that
But
top 4. But
like you referred to earlier, Michigan and Ohio State have to play again, and maybe even I don't know if twice or not, but they still got the Big Ten championship too.
right. Right.
Well, Georgia could take a L
So one of
in
those
the
teams.
SEC.
So one of those teams are going to be eliminated, and then
Not necessarily, but go ahead.
that's true. Go ahead, Angelo.
Well, I'm gonna say Ohio State, as long as they can hold the 2 seed, if they lost to Michigan
You think
in
they'll
a
still be in top four,
well,
depending on what kind of game?
well,
they play?
let's remember just a year ago.
Right.
Just a year ago,
Right.
they both went to that game undefeated.
Right.
Ohio State was ranked higher.
Right.
Michigan beat them,
And they both made.
and they both made the
top four.
playoffs. So
Right.
Ohio
Right.
State still gets the respect, although I don't
Right.
think this particular
They
coach.
don't deserve it. 'Cause
But
of the weak-ass
this
schedule.
coach that they have, I don't think deserves it.
Right.
You know,
I
I
agree
don't
with
think.
you on that one.
You know, this coach got a team. You know, I would tell my business, but man, you know, he got a team that he was already on third base. All he had to do was come home, man. You inherited, you know, man, a great team, a
Right.
great situation. But
Right.
it's like he built the team. I'm a Michigan guy, so you know I don't like him at all. But
Right.
but yeah, I think Ohio State has an outside chance, regardless of as long as it's a close game.
Thing, because they're getting accolades now because they beat Notre Dame and they beat Penn State. So, you know, are those teams
They did-
even
they did-
in
they
the
did-
ballpark?
Well, Notre
Because
Dame-
Notre Dame just lost this weekend.
Yeah,
They
Notre Dame lost their
this
third. Yeah, they lost their third game.
weekend. Yeah, they lost their third game.
And they didn't beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat Notre Dame in that game. Notre Dame should have beat Ohio State.
Okay. I
Can't
didn't
play
have
with
the
can't play with
opportunity to
10
watch
players.
it.
They had 10 players on the field for 2 plays
Right,
and 2 critical plays.
right,
I could go through all the bad play call they did, but anyway.
right. And that's going back to coach.
But an undefeated,
my niche.
an
So,
undefeated SEC team and or SEC champion is in the playoffs. An undefeated Big Ten team is in the playoffs.
Right.
Florida State, it looks like they're sure in the ACC. I don't see
Right.
who's going to beat them over there at this point. You know what I mean?
So let's say Georgia meets Alabama, because that's the way we're looking at it. I don't think LSU. I think they lost this weekend
Yeah,
again.
it's between Alabama's a
It's gonna be
lose.
Alabama,
Alabama's a
Georgia.
lose at this point. Yeah,
Alabama has one loss. Georgia's, you know, let's just
26
say they
game win
coming
streak.
in undefeated. So what happens if Alabama beats Georgia? Are we going to include 2 teams in the playoffs
that will-
from the SEC?
Now that's a great question, because if Alabama beats Georgia, a number 1 Georgia, I don't see a number 1 Georgia falling out of the top 4.
I can't see that either.
You know what I mean? Because
Based
Michigan,
on
because
the
again,
schedule.
that's where the Michigan Ohio State
Yeah.
game comes into play.
Because they got Ole Miss
Because-
still left. They got who
Yeah.
else do they have this ranked?
Because you got to think of
Tennessee.
Michigan and Ohio State. If whoever loses that game, and if Alabama knocked off Georgia, Georgia would probably fall to the 3 or 4. It's like Ohio State, Michigan last year. You know what I
Right.
mean? Alabama would come into the 4,
Right,
and then that would be the ACC champion, probably
Right.
that last slot. So.
right.
Or you still got Washington on the
Well, you
outside
got
looking
Florida
in,
State,
but Washington will have
and
to
you
beat
got
Oregon.
Washington
But they'll have to beat Oregon a second time in the Pac-12
Involved in
championship
that.
game.
Right,
So,
exactly.
so it's
So it's
a
gonna
lot.
be tight.
It's a lot to
It's
be
gonna be
played, man.
tight.
You gotta.
It's
I
gonna be tight.
I love college football.
I do
I
too.
love college football.
Because you can go 12-1 and not necessarily get you into the playoff scenario.
Every game count, man.
Every game counts
Every game
right now because we are halfway. We're a little bit over halfway of the season.
You 3/4 of the season. They only got 3 games left, most of the team. And then,
So let's move on away from the NC college football, and I'm gonna turn the mic over to you real quick, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Pete, so y'all can talk about your respective teams. How about them Steelers, man? We'll start out with the Steelers, Pete, and then we're gonna come in with KC, and then we're gonna do our top 5, and then we're gonna close it out.
Well, I'm happy that we were able to pull off this game Thursday night. You know, especially coming off that loss. The last time I was on here, I was discussing
Right.
the loss. So
Right.
it's good to come in with a
came
win.
through.
Yeah.
And they 5-3, a quiet 5.
Well, quiet 5-3, a non-respected 5-3. I'm okay,
Right.
and I'm okay with
They're
that.
dangerous. They're a dangerous team.
We have the potential to be dangerous. I would. Yeah.
It's gonna be up there.
But now our problem now is very concerning because I don't know if y'all saw.
coordinator.
Well, outside offensive coordinator. That's one major problem. And they put him on the sideline this past game. But I don't know if you noticed, George Pickens is really starting to do the AB thing
He's starting it
way too early. And it's very concerning. That attitude.
Are you talking about his attitude, that athletic director?
Well, I'm talking about right now. We won the game Thursday night. Deontay Johnson caught his first touchdown since 2021.
He did. You're right.
George Pickens did not celebrate that winning touchdown.
Oh, wow.
He was on the sideline soaking.
He got an attitude.
Because he didn't get the ball.
Because it wasn't him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he got an attitude.
and then he left. And then he left the field before everyone else. Right, the game was over with. He left the field before everybody left. Didn't shake hands. We won the game.
And you won the game.
I have a problem with that.
I got you.
I got a problem with that.
On that one. That's just so. Moving forward with Pittsburgh, and I didn't get the opportunity to actually look at the schedule. How's their schedule looking at? Do you think they can sneak in as a wild card team?
100% can.
Based on their schedule and based on Tomlin coaching them.
Definitely based on Tomlin.
Right.
The last few seasons, we've kind of. Here's my concern. Like the last few seasons, we kind of started off really slow, and then came on strong at the end.
So who did they beat this weekend, by the way?
Tennessee Titans.
Okay, so they beat Tennessee. Well, yeah.
So right now we're like mid-level team, right? So it's a matter of whether or not
5-3 though, right?
that's mid-level, in my opinion. You know?
Based on where everybody else is doing.
Yeah, not just what they're doing, but how they're doing it.
And how they're doing it. Right.
You know, like Baltimore looks good winning. Cincinnati look good winning.
They are.
We just won.
What was the score?
20-16.
Well, a win is a win in the
That was,
NFL.
and I get the win. I'm just saying, we're not winning
against anybody.
We're not winning with any conviction. We played a rookie quarterback.
You can go and say
we dominate.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't. You
Right.
know, but we can, and I say we can because we still got Cincinnati twice. We still got Cleveland one more time, and we got Baltimore one more time. So that's 4 major games in your division. If you go through one in your division, then you earn the right to make the playoffs.
right. You've earned that right. Exactly.
So that's gonna dictate how we finish off in the division.
Okay. That sounds
We got
good.
Green Bay this week. We should be able to beat
good.
Green Bay
Should beat Green Bay, but Green Bay's coming off of a win.
after 6 losses.
Right. Who did they beat this weekend? Green Bay.
Green Bay beat.
It was a nomad team they beat. And I think it was somebody in the South. But let me look that up real quick. In the meantime, Pete, let's go ahead and talk about the Chiefs. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sniffling and I'm eating because I'm teaching now. So it's a double factor. I don't get a chance to eat. So I'm kind of eating now and I got the sniffles. Pete.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
All right.
so let us know what's going on with the Chiefs. You know, last week we had a little downfall. They had a convincing win over Miami this weekend in Germany. So, what you got? And we're also gonna get into our NFL top 5 picks. Angelo, if you can go ahead and get that ready, and then I'll start off with my top 5, and then we can critique each other or whatever. Then I'm gonna tell you lost your damn mind. So, anyway, but I think this week might be one of the easiest picks because this is like me. You talked about earlier, Pete. The top 4 is pretty standard. We might have them, jumbled up a little bit, and but anyway. How you feel about the Chiefs right now? Because they are 6-2 or 7-2.
7-2.
Right.
There's no really particular way to feel. My mind hasn't changed since we spoke last week on the show. I'm still disappointed in Nagy, the offensive coordinator, and play calling.
Same thing.
I mean, yesterday morning, I was late for church, but the Chiefs in the first half, they looked like Super Bowl champs.
Right.
On both sides of the ball.
Right.
In the second half, the defense came out the locker room, and I think the offense, when they went down to Sachsenhausen, and if anybody's been over to Frankfurt,
they probably hit the red
district.
light district before the night because they are in Germany and they were in Frankfurt. So I was over there and you were over there, so we know what that red light district can do for you. And that's something new, and that's something new for them. So I'm sure they hit that red. I know for a fact they hit the red light district.
I'm still not satisfied with our performance throughout the season. That was the first good half of football. And think about it. We put up 21 in the first half. Didn't score in the second half.
Not a single point.
They didn't score in the second half at all? Because I had fell asleep.
Not one point.
Miami didn't score in the first half.
Right.
Miami didn't score in the first half, and then Kansas City didn't score in the second half.
Right. So that was just one half of
I
football.
actually missed the game. I wish
that
I
we got
tried
to
to get
witness.
up, but
And we still got a lot of things to get right.
So moving forward, do you think? And I know it's early. I know it's early because we still got. They're 7-2. That means we got 8 games left. Correct. So I'm going to end this question, and then we can go ahead and get into the NFL top 5, and then we're going to get up out of here so we can go home and watch the game. But anyway, do you feel, Pete, that they might repeat again? Well, they're going to repeat as their division winners. We know that. But do you feel they are going to take the AFC championship?
I wouldn't bank on it right now.
Okay. So let's move on.
So Pete,
ahead,
do you appreciate my assessment of your team from last week now after Sunday?
I didn't disagree with you last week.
Okay.
All right. So let's move
on.
on.
I think I'm harder on my team than anybody else is, or anybody else could be, unless you play on that team.
I respect that.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the top 5, and we got to get up out of here because Brian just walked in the house, and he got his show coming up with things that we don't talk about. He's bringing that up.
Oh, yeah?
So that's a cool bet.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's coming in with stuff that we hadn't discussed. And you can find Brian on, I believe he comes on your show, on the Angelo?
DC Curry.
He comes on DC's show, which is on Wednesdays. So you can check him out.
He used to be the sportsman on the show, but now he came in and doing his thing. I'm checking him out.
And I apologize, Brian. But you picked it up, though. You came in and said, okay, I'm going to talk about the stuff this dude ain't talking about. So that's a good thing. So real quick.
That's dope.
I'm coming in with the NFL top 5. We're going to move on to Pete, and then we're going to move on to Angelo. Top 5. We're going to make this quick because we got to get out of here. Number 5. Come on, Pete. Pick number 5.
What? You can't hear me.
You got to echo me when I say number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, here we go. The Cincinnati Bengals. They on the roll. I think they beat. Who did they beat? They beat Buffalo, didn't they, Angelo, this week?
Did.
Yeah.
Soundly.
So they have cracked my number 5 team. Number 4, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions. They were convincing enough this weekend or Thursday when they played, because I believe they're 7-2 now too. If not 6-2. I think all these buys, I'm confused.
7-2 also.
They're what?
7-2 also.
Okay, so they're 7-2 also. So that's a legitimate number 4 team. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're back regardless. And I know, Pete, you're like me with my Rams. You know, you're like, you can play better. But they're 7-2. They're 7-2. So I would say right now they are in a close running with my number 2 team, the Baltimore Ravens.
I can't wait to hear who
Baltimore,
number
that
one is. Then.
Lamar Jackson is balling, man. He might be the leading NFL most valuable candidate right now, I would think. And Angelo, when you get to your top five, we can talk about that because you got to have Baltimore in your top five. I know you do.
I had them last week, so they hadn't nothing to leave.
Number one, obvious pick. I can't believe that we would not have anybody else but the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Jacksonville. That was a hard choice for me between Cincinnati and Jacksonville at coming in at number 5. There's something about Jacksonville, and I believe, what's their record, Pete? I mean, I think they're 6-2 or 7-2.
They're 6-2.
6-2.
They're 6-2. Yeah, they've only had 2 losses too. So it was an easy decision for me because Seattle got the doors bit off of them by Baltimore, I believe.
I mean, beat off of them.
That's what vaulted me to go with Baltimore number 2. Pete, come on in with your top 5, bro.
At number 5.
Number 5.
I got Cincinnati as well.
Okay.
We're gonna see what their season looks like.
Joe Burrow is
Looking
healthy
at-
now. He's dangerous.
Looking at their schedule, most of their competitive games are going to come within their division,
Right.
with the exception of Christmas Eve when they play the Chiefs.
Right.
Number 4,
Number 4.
I have the Baltimore Ravens.
At 4? Okay. You lost your
At
mind, but go
4.
ahead.
At 4.
Okay. I can roll with that.
And they have some nice remaining games too.
Right. Schedule a
They
little
got
bit
the
easy.
49ers.
Are you serious? Are you
Bro,
still rolling with the 49ers, who has had 3 losses in a row? I think they had a bye this weekend. But they've lost 3 games in a row, Pete. How can you have them in your top 5 with all the other teams that are going well?
Wait.
I'm not going to question your top 5. I mean, that's how you got to roll it. But
He said,
remember,
"I'm not
I
gonna question
am
top
going
five
to
after
grade
you
you.
question it."
I am going to grade you. So just to let you know.
The 49ers are not in my top 5.
Oh, I thought you said 3
Maybe you listen
49ers. My bad.
No, I was saying the Ravens still have a bunch of tough games left on their schedule.
I got you. My bad.
Okay, number 3, Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
They're 7-2 team as well.
Right.
We still have Philadelphia, Buffalo, and Cincinnati remaining on our schedule.
Yeah, but we're not going by the remainder of the schedule.
Hey, this is my top 5.
Okay. You right? Go ahead. I'm sorry. This is your top 5. Go ahead.
Number 2. Now, I'll explain why I'm talking about remaining
No,
games
just
on the
say it.
schedule.
You said it was your top 5. I respect that. Go ahead.
Okay. Detroit should not lose another game this season.
Now, remember, we're not going by schedules. We're going by what they're currently doing. But it's your
Listen to
top
what I'm
5.
saying.
So go
Listen to
ahead.
what I'm saying.
Coming in with Detroit, too. I mean, that's legitimate.
Detroit beat Kansas City. I can't put them under Kansas City with the same record.
Right.
But the only notable game for the Lions is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Every team else they play is a losing record or 500 team.
Okay.
And number 1, Philadelphia.
Right. I think
And they still got work to do because they got the Chiefs, they got the Bills, they got the 49ers and the Cowboys again.
Right.
So
Right.
Philly could drop, the Chiefs could rise,
Right.
but there would be no excuse for Detroit to drop out this top 5.
Right. Right. All right. Thank you for your top 5. I will give you a grade after I get Angelo's top 5, and then we're going to get up out of here. Angelo, go ahead and go with your top 5.
So it's good to hear you guys have joined because my top 5 is almost the exact same as last week. My only change is I have to remove Buffalo after what they did,
Right.
and I'm going to add
Understandable.
Jacksonville to the 5 slot.
Okay.
I had a debate between Jacksonville and Detroit, but I'm gonna go Jacksonville only because they haven't been whooped any time this year, and Detroit did take a whooping.
At number 5, you got Jackson.
Number 5 is Jacksonville.
Okay.
Number 4, I'm going still on Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
They're coming on strong. They're doing what Joe Burrow does. He's done every year thus far, which is come on strong towards mid-end of the season.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm going to Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
They dropped from 2 to 3. Even with a win, I've said last week, they're not just,
Yeah,
they're not the same team.
You like Pete.
But they still pack Mahomes.
Right.
Number 2, I flip-flopped 2 and 3 from last week. What Baltimore did Sunday was, well, in the last couple of weeks, it's just been, ridiculously solid. Can't take nothing from them. I don't like them as a team because they're my rival, but I respect Lamar Jackson and what he's been doing.
Right.
And like you said, everybody got the same number 1. Although they almost let that game get away with the Eagles, that last drive, they could have lost the game, but I was just so glad they didn't because I couldn't believe they let them just try the ball that fast down the field. I was like, that was terrible. I was just glad that Dak stepped out of bounds and that bad was short the end zone.
So with that said, we got everybody's top 5, and Angelo, I'm also going to give you a little plug on this. If Pittsburgh can come in with 6-3 next week, are we gonna maybe perhaps let them crash into that top? Well, it's going to be depending on what the other
they
teams
won't.
are
They
doing.
got to perform.
Who do they play next week?
They got Green Bay. We
Yeah,
got Green
they
Bay.
should win
We
that
got Green
game.
Bay in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And I said with 3-game homestand, we had to go 2-1 at the homestand. So we're 1-1 right now.
Right.
We had to be Green Bay.
Okay.
Cannot let Green Bay come in there and win.
That's a bet.
And but I don't know if they will crack my top 5 only because they haven't performed yet.
Like a top 5 team.
They're winning the games, but they haven't really performed yet.
So with that said, look, guys, we out of here. And Angelo, you want to let real quick, a minute or so, let you know what you got going on here. Angelo, of course, is CEO and owner of Uptown Comedy Corner. So I do know that he's got a new spot, that he might want to talk about, and it's awesome. I've been back there, man. It is so chill. So y'all got to come out here and check out this club, man. Like I've always been saying, Angelo, you want to go ahead and put a plug in there?
Well, sure. We here Uptown. Naturally, we have this weekend. We got comedian Doodoo Brown headlining, Sunshine featuring. We got shows every day of the week. We got a Sunday brunch that's phenomenal, clean comedy Sunday brunch. So if you don't like the cuss and all that stuff, come out on Sundays. Clean comedy, band, music is just a great show. Have generations come out, man. Mama, grandmama, aunties, kids.
Right.
It's really dope. The clean comedy brunch on Sundays. And then, next door, man, we just opened up our hookah lounge, The Avenue, home of the loaded baked potato. Right now, we pretty much open up during the daytime for the baked potato between 12 and 6. But I'm going to tell you something, man. If you like a loaded baked potato,
yeah,
you will enjoy
I
it.
gotta get with that one.
Hey,
myself.
They got a shrimp and chicken Alfredo baked potato, man. It's just it's so ridiculously good, man. It's
y'all
just
come
so
on
good,
and check
man.
him out, man. He got a lot going on here. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and end the show, and we will see y'all again next Monday. Thanks, Bo and Will, my producers, who's trying to get me rolling out here. And then don't forget, we got Brian Harper's show coming out. He's gonna talk about things that I didn't get to talk about. He's coming up with things that sports that we can get to talk about. So anyway, we out. Peace out. See y'all next Monday.
Peace.